All right, welcome back to the Lake of the Woods and More Fishing Report. This week I'm up here on Lake of the Woods catching a few walleyes. Boy, I hope this is a walleye, because if it is, this is a big one. This is going to be a big walleye. Head shakes. It's not running, so I don't think it's a pike. And there's no way the first drop of the day is going to be my biggest fish of the year. It's got to be a walleye because it's not running. Hopefully you can at least see this fish. Oh my gosh, it's a big walleye. Holy crap! Holy crap, holy crap. Yeah! Oh, it's a big walleye. It is a big, big walleye. God, that thing is solid. Look at this fish, y'all. All right, let's cruise over to Mille Lake and Joe from Keeper's Guide Service and see what's going on in the Mille Lake and Brainerd Lakes area.
Hey guys, Joe here with Keeper's Guide Service for your weekly fishing report for the Mille Lake and Brainerd Lakes area. Still got some bugs going. It is getting better, but they're still around. Our weather's been a little goofy, warm one day, cooler the next day. It hasn't seemed to affect the fishing too much. Did quite a bit of walleye fishing this week, and it's been really good. We're finding those fish anywhere from 5 to 25 foot of water. Mostly targeting them with paddle tails, whether it's snap jigging or slow rolling them behind the boat or casting up along a weed line or on the rocks or transition points, sand to rock, things like that. That's worked real well for us this week. Also, the bass bite's been pretty good. Those fish are starting to slide out. We're finding them on the deeper weed line in about that 12-foot range. On the hot, sunny days, we're getting them up under docks and in the thick cover, under pads, things like that. So that bite's also been pretty good. As far as the panfish, I haven't done much of that this week, but I am seeing those fish also in about that 12-foot range. Seeing a few sunfish up shallow still. But everything should start to make its way to that summer pattern over the next week or so. The bite should continue to be pretty good. That's about all I got for you guys this week. Tight lines, good luck. If you're looking to get out, give me a message or shoot me a call.
All right, checking in up here at the north end of Lake of the Woods out of Youngs Bay Resort. Past week fishing has been really good. Been a lot of limits caught, nice fish being caught. A few things are starting to come into play. There's starting to be some mayflies here showing up, a lot of bug hatches. Fish are still being found on the reefs. Yesterday had a good south wind and caught a lot of fish in about 20 to 24 feet of water on reefs, just jigging, just back trolling into it a little bit like this. Didn't have wind quite like we have today. Now the wind has switched today and it's blowing pretty hard out of the north, and it's blowing a lot of that smoke down from up in Canada. So the conditions are, if you have some breathing trouble, it's not going to be real pretty. She's pretty smoky up here. Another factor is the horseflies are pretty good. Well, not good, they're pretty bad. Not really biting really, but they're all around. So a lot of horseflies around. And in the evening, if you're staying at a resort and you're wanting to have a bonfire and do some stuff outside, make sure you bring long pants and some mosquito spray, because the mosquitoes are pretty thick too. Some of the things I'll show you here, I think if you're gonna come up here, the way it's kind of looking, at least today, probably pulling spinners might be a little bit better of an idea. Vertical jigging has been a little bit tougher today, finding a lot of fish, still concentrated pretty good on structure here, but getting them to bite, they've really slowed down as the afternoon has kind of wore on a little bit, and that is kind of to be expected. It should have picked up a little bit more here in the afternoon, but it's just it's a little bit tougher right now. Marking a lot of fish, but just having a tough time getting them to bite. So if you're pulling spinners, you're coming up here onto the Ontario side, you don't want to buy bait. Here's one bait that is a for sure good bet for pulling spinners. It's a Northland Impulse. Hopefully you can see that. I'll put it on the screen there. Impulse minnow. Those work really, really well on spinners. What I was having really good luck on yesterday catching walleyes and jigging, just kind of back trolling like I am, just moving and stopping and moving and stopping. These B Fishing Tackle Impulse Authentics, not Impulse, but the Authentics paddle tails. The Chartreuse Core is a really good color. Another good bait is the Kalin's Jerk Minnow. These are 4 inches, but the 5 inches work really well on like a 3/8 ounce jig or even a 1/4 ounce jig, catching some walleyes, using those. But of course, if you're going to go and buy the live bait, which you can do, as long as you buy it in up here on the Canadian side, and that's not just anywhere in Canada, it's got to be up here from what I understand. There's a place called Windfall Bait or something like that. I'll put that on the screen again. Just keep your receipt with you. You got to have that with you, and it's only good for a day. So if you buy bait, go out fishing and come back into Minnesota, you can't use it the next day. You got to go buy more bait. So been fishing plastics up here for years. They do work. If you're vertical jigging and you're sitting still, it's a little bit tougher. You can put some billy rub on. That does help with scent. This wind is starting to pick up pretty good. A little bit tougher to control the boat than it was earlier. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Mayflies are hatching, and the wind is blowing right now, but the forecast looks pretty good. Winds kind of looked 5 to 10 the rest of the week, and of course it's a little bit far out for the weekend, but maybe a chance of rain Saturday, but overall not too bad. Not depressively hot. That's kind of the report up from the north end of Lake of the Woods, up the northwest angle out of Youngs Bay Resort. They've got some availability for some midweek packages. A lot of people out here right now. The weekends are pretty full. You can maybe get on a cancellation list or call and see if they got any openings here coming up for the end of June and July, but for the most part, a lot of people up here, so it's getting pretty full. Fishing is good. You just got to keep moving around until you find them and get on some active pods of fish, and when you do, you're going to catch fish. So that's what's going on up here at Lake of the Woods, out of the angle. Appreciate you guys watching the fishing report. Hope it helps you out a little bit. If you do use any of the guides or resorts on the report, please let them know that you saw them here, and it lets them know that, hey, it's worth their time to send me the information so I can pass it along to you. But hope you guys can get out and enjoy God's great outdoors, and we will catch you next time on the Lake of the Woods and More Fishing Report.